Are we ready for the third day of Christmas? What's the third day of Christmas? That would be December 25, 26, 27. Who does the church celebrate on December the 27th, on the third day of Christmas? It's always the same person. It's the one person who was not martyred as an apostle. Ooh, let's press our memory here. Who was the only apostle who was not martyred, who didn't die for the faith? Saint John. According to the story, so we celebrate, how interesting, we celebrate Christmas one day, then we celebrate the first martyr of the church on December the 26th. December the 27th, we celebrate the first apostle who was not martyred. So all of the other apostles that we heard of, Peter and Thomas and James and Philip and Matthew, all of them, according to the tradition of the church, all of them died for their faith. Who was the only one who didn't die? John. St. John. How do we know St. John today? Did he write something? John wrote the Gospel of John. In fact, in the Bible, there are different books that are written by John. We actually have 5 books that are written by John. We have the Gospel, we have 3 letters of John, and we have Revelation. But we don't believe that those letters and Revelation were written by the same John as the Gospel. How interesting, because in the Gospel of John, he's always talking about the beloved disciple. At the Last Supper, the beloved disciple put his head on Jesus' breast. He rested his head on Jesus. Who is the beloved disciple? So according to the early tradition of the church, that John was the beloved disciple. If you read the Gospel of John, it talks about the beloved disciple, how it is that we believe that John was either talking about himself and or he was talking about the ideal believer. That we as believers would be resting our head on Jesus and doing the things that the beloved disciple does in the Gospel of John. So this beloved disciple is just called the beloved disciple, the one that Jesus loved. But how it is that that beloved disciple could be an example for us. How could the beloved disciple be an example for us? Because, for instance, when Peter and the beloved disciple hear the news of Jesus rising, what do? They run out to the tomb. Who gets there first? The beloved disciple. The beloved disciple sees the cloths rolled up inside the tomb, and what does the gospel say? That the beloved disciple believes. Even without seeing Jesus, he believed. Do you remember who else we have in the Gospel of John who didn't believe? That would be Thomas, right? So Thomas, how interesting, we have this contrast between the beloved disciple who didn't see but believed, and Thomas who didn't see and didn't believe. And he wouldn't believe until he saw. Do you remember his words? I'll believe it when I see it. Seeing is believing. Not for the beloved disciple. The beloved disciple didn't see Jesus, but he still believed. What's the lesson for us as beloved disciples? Even without seeing, we can believe. So we celebrate St. John on the third day of Christmas, every December the 27th.